If an interviewer or recruiter asks, "Tell me about Databricks," and your brain opens 12 tabs in the background, then this video is for you. Because most people don't lose Databricks interviews because they are weak technically. They lose because they answer in the weird half confident, half confused style where they say things like Databricks is kind of Spark and also Delta and maybe notebooks and cloud. It just dies there. So let's clean that up. Hello everyone, welcome to Big Data Fact. I am Pranit and have 4+ years of experience working as a data engineer. If this is your first time visiting this channel, do subscribe for more content on big data and real world insights. In this video, I am going to walk you through realistic Databricks plus PySpark interview questions, and I will also show you how to answer them in a way that sounds calm, structured and real. By the end, you should be able to explain what Databricks is, how it fits into data engineering's work, and how to answer one of the most common PySpark performance scenarios without sounding like you memorized a note 5 minutes before the interview. And I will give you one simple answer structure at the end that works almost for everything. Let's start with the first question. What is Databricks and how it is different from Spark? This is such a common question and still people make it messy. A clean answer would sound like this. Spark is the processing engine. Databricks is the platform around that kind of data work. It gives teams a workspace to build pipelines, run Spark jobs, manage tables, schedule workflows, and govern access, instead of stitching all of that together manually. That's the core idea. Databricks itself describes the platform as a unified open analytics platform that integrates with your cloud storage and security and manages the cloud infrastructure for you. Now in an interview, don't stop at the definition. That's where answers becomes weak. Add the why part. So the reason companies use Databricks is not just Spark. It's because they want Spark plus a working platform around it. Notebooks, jobs, governed tables, collaboration, orchestration. That sounds much better than saying Databricks is like Spark on cloud. Because technically, Spark is one major engine inside Databricks. But Databricks is a lot more than that. That's what they are testing. Not whether you have seen the logo, whether you understand the difference between a compute engine and a data platform. Now let's go to the second one. Explain how would you structure a Databricks pipeline using bronze, silver and gold layers. This is where a lot of candidates either become too theoretical or too vague. A better answer is, I would use the medallion architecture to separate the pipeline by data quality and purpose. Bronze would hold raw or minimally processed data. Silver would contain clean, validated, joined, and enriched data. Gold would contain business-ready tables or aggregates used for reporting, dashboards, or downstream analytics. That's already sounds solid. And this is not just interview sounding language. Databricks Delta Lake docs explicitly encourage using a medallion architecture to process data through layers as it gets clean and enriched. Now if you want to make the answer stronger, add a practical example. For example, if I am working with ordered data, bronze might contain raw order events, silver would standardize schema, clean bad records, and join ordered data with customer and product data. Gold would produce things like daily sales summaries, repeat customer metrics, or category level revenue tables. Now it sounds like you actually built something, and that's the trick. Good answers move from concept to example. If you stay only at the concept level, you sound like a course. If you add the example, you sound like an engineer. Third question. What is Unity Catalog and why does it matter? Here is where people either go too deep or avoid it completely. You don't need to explain every permission model in the universe, just explain the right level. A clean answer would be, Unity Catalog is the governance layer in Databricks. It helps teams manage access to the data objects like catalogs, schemas, and tables in a controlled way. So instead of data access becoming random and messy across workspaces and teams, Unity Catalog gives a structured model for permissions and governance. So that is already enough for many interviews. Because Databricks' own docs emphasize Unity Catalog as a governance layer and they explicitly say it operates on the principle of least privilege. They also document how it manages access to tables, volumes, and underlying cloud storage locations. Now the why part. This matters because once your pipelines move beyond solo work, governance becomes a real problem. Who can access raw tables? Who can modify curated data? How do you keep production data control? Unity Catalog helps solve that. That answer sounds practical. And if you want small maturity boost, add. It also matters because governed storage and controlled access become more important as teams scale and as AI or downstream consumers depend on the data. That shows perspective. Now the fourth question. How do you schedule and orchestrate pipelines in Databricks? A strong answer would be, In Databricks, I would typically use Lakeflow Jobs to orchestrate repeatable workflows. A job can run notebooks, scripts, or tasks on a schedule, manage dependencies between tasks, and handle retries or failure alerts. Databricks documents Lakeflow Jobs as workflow automation for data processing and other workloads, and say jobs coordinate and run multiple tasks as part of a larger workflow. They also describe jobs, tasks, and triggers as a core orchestration concepts. Now, if you want to make that answer stronger, keep it practical. For example, I might schedule a daily pipeline where one task ingests raw data, another task runs validation, a third task transforms the data, and a final task publishes curated output. That's much better than just saying we use jobs. And if they ask, can this work with Airflow? You can answer, yes, Databricks can be a part of a broader orchestration setup too. But inside Databricks, Lakeflow Jobs is the built-in workflow layer. Again, not too much, just enough. Now let's go to the one people actually fear. Now let's move to Spark. The interviewer asks, your Spark job is running successfully, but the output is incorrect or duplicated. How do you debug it? Now this is the very real world question. Because in production, jobs don't fail every time. Sometimes they succeed, but the data is wrong. And that's actually worse. A weak answer may sound like, I would check logs, maybe data issue. A strong answer starts with the structure. So I would say, my first step would be to verify whether the duplication or incorrect data is getting introduced, whether it's happening during ingestion, transformation, or joins. That already sounds more structured. Then I would break it down. If I suspect duplication, I would first check joins. Many duplicates in Spark come from joining tables with different brains. For example, joining a one-to-many table without handling aggregation properly. That's a very strong signal. Then continue. I would also validate whether there is a duplicate keys in the source data itself, or whether transformations like group by into functions or unions are unintentionally increasing row counts. Now move to debugging. I would compare input versus output row counts at each stage of the pipeline and isolate where the spike or mismatch happens. This is practical and real. Then, I would also check for issues like missing filters, incorrect join conditions, or lack of deduplication logic. And if you want to level it up, if the pipeline supports it, I would add validation checks or assertions to catch these issues early, like row count checks or duplicate detection before writing final outputs. Now let me quickly show you what people actually mess up in Databricks plus PySpark interviews. First, they answer in product words instead of workflow thinking. They say Databricks, Delta, Spark, Unity Catalog, but they don't explain how these fit together. That sounds vague. Second, they over-explain features and they under-explain decisions. Don't spend 45 seconds explaining Delta Lake if you can't explain when you would use a bronze, silver, gold flow, or how would you debug a slow job. Third, they ignore governance and orchestration. Databricks interviews are not only about PySpark code. If you skip governance, jobs, or production, thinking complete, your answers feels incomplete. Fourth, they give zero trade-offs. Short answer mentions like raw versus curated layers, governed tables versus messy file access, shuffle joins versus broadcast joins, quick fix versus scalable fix. That's what makes your answers believable. So here is the framework I want you to remember. For most Databricks and PySpark interview questions, answer like this. What, why, how? What is the concept or likely issue? Why does it matter here? How would you use it, structure it, debug it, or improve it? For example, what is Unity Catalog? It's Databricks governance layer. Why does it matter? Because once multiple teams and datasets are involved, control access becomes important. How would I use it? To organize data access through governed catalogs, schemas, and tables rather than ad hoc permissions. That's clean and that sounds thoughtful. And calm answers always sound stronger than messy and fast answers. So let's wrap this up properly. If you want to do well in Databricks plus PySpark interviews, don't answer like a glossary. Explain system as flows. Connect platform features to real work. And for Spark questions, always think in terms of cause, effect, and debug path. That's what interviews actually respond to. If you want, comment Databricks and tell me what you want next. Databricks architecture, Databricks interview questions part 2, Databricks project tutorial, or Databricks versus Snowflake. And if this video helped, subscribe. I'm building a practical data engineering series here. Interviews, project, career strategy, Spark, SQL, AWS, Databricks, all the stuff people actually need without turning it into a documentation marathon. This is all for today. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, keep learning and keep building. Bye bye.